In this video, we're going to be ranking every site in Rainbow Six Siege. First up, we have just your standard holo. People have been using this site for a really long time, and they're going to keep using it because it's good. The reticle is really nice. The housing, while not great, isn't obnoxious or anything like that, so it's definitely playable. And we've been using it forever. So everyone's very comfortable with it. Used to kind of how like the recoil feels, those sort of things. So it's a good site. It's gonna go into B tier. Next we have the 3x site. I don't like this site. Just gonna come out and say it. It's way too zoomed in. It's the same reason you don't really want a sniper in Rainbow Six Siege. It's just not the way the game is played. And how often are you having extremely long gunfights like that? The average gunfight in Siege is like very close range. So it's just, you're going to be putting yourself at a disadvantage the majority of the time. I do not like it. The only thing it kind of has going for it is it has a nice reticle and good housing, so that's a plus. But it just, you have a 3x. It's completely overkill. It's going to go into F tier. Not a fan at all. Next we have the Spetsnaz ACOG. This site's not great. The housing is huge and weird, and the reticle, there's so much going on. It's just, it makes it harder and more difficult to land shots. Now I have used this because back in the day you could only have this ACOG on any Russian ops. You couldn't use any of the default ones, so I definitely have used it. It's okay, but you never want to run it, and now that you don't have to run it, you don't. I'm gonna put it into D tier. It's usable, but I don't like it. Now we have the 2x. The 2x is a very good site. The reticle is amazing. The zoom is very nice. 2x is a really good spot to be sitting, especially when you're attacking. It gives you just kind of that advantage that you're gonna have with an assault rifle where you can fight at range better against the defender's SMG counterparts. So you kind of have that advantage there, and you can lean into that with this site. So I think that makes it even better. The only downside is the housing isn't like perfect, but it's definitely not bad. I mean, that thing on the left, the dial, is a little annoying, but you look past it. Everything else about the site is great. So I think that's gonna put it into, A or S tier. This is tough. This is really, I'm gonna say S tier. This site's really good. It's that good. It just is that good. So it's gonna go S tier for me. Next we have another holo. I like this one a lot. It actually is the 1x I run the most. I find the housing to be small, the reticle to be good. It just works in that way. So it's everything I said about the last holo, but with a smaller housing. Maybe you could argue the reticle is slightly worse, but that'd be, I don't know. That's really nitpicking for me. I don't find them to be much different in how they play at all, or my ability to land headshots or anything like that. I would way rather have the smaller housing of this site. So with that, this is going to go into A tier. Very good, very great site. So remember the last one, I said I really liked the small housing? Yeah, this is the opposite. Let's just have a holo, but with bigger housing, right? Because that's what we want. This thing is so F tier. It's so terrible. If your friend runs this, don't queue with them ever again. Just drop them. Find a new stack. You know what? Message me. I'll stack with you. Show me the screenshots. Show me the receipts, and I will gladly play with you to save you from the misery of having teammates who think that this is a good site. Now we have the Russian holo. Again, this is terrible. This is going F tier. There's a lot of terrible sites. This thing sucks. The housing is really weird. The reticle sucks. There's just so much going on. It's just not good. There's more housing than there is site. It's not even close. Like it's just weird. It's bad. Don't run it. Now this is a tough one. Where do you put Kali's site? Like you can't run it on any other gun. It's only on Kali, and Kali's it's just not very good. You don't ever want to zoom in. You're at such a disadvantage being that zoomed in. And it's what, an 8x standard and then a 12 zoomed in? That's not good. I mean, the reticle is really good, and it is a sniper, so it's like that's kind of the point I guess I would rather have this than the other ones in F tier, so it'll go D tier and not any higher. Probably should go lower, but we're gonna give it a little bit of a push just because it's on a sniper, and that's kind of the point, and the reticle is really good. Next we have the ACOG, and the ACOG, I mean, it ran Siege back in the day, but times have changed. This site is good, but the housing is kind of large. The reticle's solid, but nothing like amazing. So I think it's okay. It's better than okay, like it's good, but it's a little too zoomed in actually. Like back in the day, like you had 1x or 2.5. Those were your choices. So like there was advantages and disadvantages to both, which might have been better, but that's a different video. Now there's other sites and there's other options. So an operator that has this scope available probably has a better option available, something in between, like the 2x or another site. So I just think while this is very good, it has its disadvantages. I'm gonna put it into B tier. I like it, I do. There's just better options. Next we have this red dot. I could not tell you the last time I ran this thing. I mean, it's a red dot. It's okay. It's not terrible, but it's not great. I think I'm gonna put it into C tier. I think that's what not terrible but not great is C tier. It's just fine, but why would you run it? I don't really get it. So that's gonna go into C tier. Next we have the Russian Reflex. Now this site is actually pretty good, but where does it go? The housing's not bad, reticle's not bad, Bearing 9 had that weird zoomy glitch thing. Let's put a B tier. It's pretty good. I like that site actually. I run it on some things. Russian Reflex, B tier. Now the elephant in the room, the 1.5 site. Probably one of the most controversial things Ubisoft has done to the game in a long time. Obviously it's been out for quite a long time and people are still talking about it. It'll never go away. It's highly debated and it's because it's so good. And you know, people wouldn't care if it sucked, right? If it was terrible, it wouldn't matter. No one would talk about it. It's because it is so good. And what you're getting out of this site is the best of both worlds, right? Earlier I said ACOG is too zoomed in and a 1x might not be zoomed in enough. This is perfect, right? You're not at a major disadvantage in any kind of gunfight. You can fight long range, you can fight close range. It is so good. It is the perfect blend of everything. Good reticle, good housing, doesn't take up a ton of your screen. It's just perfect. Gonna go the top of S tier. 2x is very good. It is up there with it, but it is not better than the 1.5. It just isn't. The housing on the 2x just hurts it, but they're both in that in-between range and they're both very good. Next we have this other red dot. I actually kind of like this red dot. It's not too bad, but the housing is kind of, as you can see by the massive thing on the right side of it. I think it's going to put it into C tier. It's better than the other one, but it's still not great. It's definitely not on the level of this OG Holo, so it's not going to make it up into B tier. Then we have the Reflex. I like this site. It's pretty decent. Not great, but pretty good. The housing's kind of weird, and the triangle I don't love. I like the dot, so it's all right. It'll go C tier. I like it better than the red dot sites because the housings on them are kind of weird, but this one's, it's fine. It's pretty good. Then we have this other Russian Reflex. Are they both Russian Reflexes? Maybe I'm wrong. Ah, whatever. Okay, this is gonna go to B tier. This site's good. There's something about it that just feels super good on certain guns, like Jaeger's AR. I love this sight on that gun. It is what I run. It's what I'm gonna run. It's just good. It's gonna go into B tier. And last but not least, we have this little weird reflex thing. I actually really like this sight on shotguns. I don't know what it is. It's just like, it's really small. It's kind of tiny. So it just like really works for shotguns because I'm hip firing a lot of the time. But if I do want to aim, I have a little something there. So I'm going to put this at the top of C tier. It's pretty good. Better than the other reflex, but it's nothing that special. But here's my list. Tell me, am I just a 1.5 crutch user or is it really that good? And tell me your favorite site. Is there something I put way down on the list that you run every day? Let me know. And thanks for watching.